Hello, everyone. We want to welcome you to CodeMonkey's Administrative Dashboard webinar. Our goal today is going to be to make sure that you have all the tools and information that you need to be successful and confident in managing your school or your district's CodeMonkey subscription. During today's webinar, we invite you to ask questions. We have folks who will be tending to your the Q&A, so we'll be answering throughout the webinar. And we will also have a Q&A following the presentation. So we'll get to all of the questions by the end of our event today. And so with that, I'm going to go ahead and Maya, if you'll change the slide.
Yeah, I also want to thank everybody for joining us today. We're really excited to share with you the latest and newest features that we added to the admin dashboard. We invite you to follow us on social media, CodeMonkey STU, CodeMonkey Student, to stay up to date on everything that's CodeMonkey and for edtech news and content. You can find us on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and of course, the CodeMonkey blog on our website. So let's meet the team. So my name is Maya Miller. I am one of CodeMonkey's CSMs from the customer success team. I work with our customers, schools, and teachers once they join CodeMonkey. I handle their onboarding, which means that I make sure that they set up their subscription, add students, and start using CodeMonkey successfully. As CodeMonkey is a very teacher-friendly platform, most of the customers are able to do those stages independently, but me and Angie were there to help the ones who need help, and there's always a lot to do at the beginning of the year, so there's always a lot of things that we can do to help. And I mostly use the great videos and help center that we have. For example, one of the videos is getting started with CodeMonkey, a video tutorial that helps teachers to hit the ground running when they set up their subscription. And Angie, why don't you introduce yourself?
Absolutely. So my name is Angie Lintner. I'm also a customer success manager here at CodeMonkey. I have worked within customer success in the edtech industry for almost 8 years now. I really love what I do. Like Maya, I also support customers in onboarding, setup, setting goals for their use of CodeMonkey, and helping them to monitor progress towards those goals using data and metrics. Most importantly, I feel my focus is to help all of your teachers and students be successful, whatever success looks like for them.
That's awesome. So let's go over some of the topics that we plan to cover today. So we are going to talk about what is CodeMonkey and a little bit about CodeMonkey's pathway to learning. This is what Angie's gonna talk about a little bit. We're gonna review the admin dashboard as it currently is and the new features that we are launching during next week. We will be talking about monitoring students, progress, usage, and tracking that. And of course, in the end, we'll have a Q&A session. So I know part of the webinar today is going to be a little bit technical. So first of all, we have a moderator here who is able to answer your answers in the Q&A box. And during the Q&A time, we will answer whatever questions that weren't answered in the Q&A box and any new question that has arisen during the webinar. So feel free. So what is CodeMonkey? CodeMonkey is a leading coding for kids program that provides engaging online courses for students to learn to code. It's made with schools and teachers in mind. Standards are aligned with CSTA and ISTE and K through 8, and it's a complete K through 8 coding curriculum. Starting from block-based, moving on to text-based coding, and then finally even Python, real Python. So no prior coding experience is needed in order to teach. As I mentioned, it's made with schools and teachers in mind. We know that teachers don't necessarily, or even usually, don't have coding background, which means that we have a very extensive help center and teacher resources that are made to help teachers just be able to focus in helping the students in the classroom.
Wonderful. And to springboard off that, as far as what Maya is explaining with the resources, I want to share a little bit about the CodeMonkey Pathway to Learning. Typically, this is a tool that we offer to teachers, and what it is designed to do is help guide teachers into where to start students properly at a good level for their student and grade band. And we like to share this with administrators because we know that you're not always familiar with all of the various resources available. And if you get questions, we would love for you to have a general understanding of what is available to your teachers and students within the platform. So starting on the left with block-based coding, we offer CodeMonkey Junior and Beaver Achiever. These courses are going to be suited for your K-2 classrooms. Moving on to your text-based coding, Dodo Does Math and Coding Adventure includes that type of coding language, and that would be ideal for your 3 through 5 students. And then wrapping up on the higher end, you have your 6th through 9th grades that will learn, as Maya mentioned, Python, and that can be found in our Game Builder, Banana Tails, and Coding Chatbots. So this is a nice visual that your teachers can use to identify where would be a good place to get their students started.
That's excellent. And I just want to add something that a teacher just recently told me, that one of the things that they love about CodeMonkey, except for the students obviously loving it and enjoying the learning experience, is that within the CodeMonkey platform, because we have such a vast coding curriculum, students, what the teacher said was, students become from student to creator. We have creator spaces in CodeMonkey, so students can actually use code to create a chatbot and whatnot. So that's pretty awesome, and I really like the become from student to creator. So Angie.
Yes, I'm going to go ahead and move on over to the live demo portion of our presentation. Maya, you're seeing the interface?
Yes.
All right. Wonderful. So for those of you who are in the CodeMonkey platform frequently, you notice, things look relatively the same at the moment. Things will be changing shortly within the week, and Maya will go into what those changes will look like. But currently what you have on your administrative dashboard when you log in are going to be your widgets giving you general information about the subscription and who has access to it. So you'll get a synopsis of how many teachers, schools, classrooms, and students are accessing the platform or have access. And then underneath that, you have your subscription details. And those include the name of your subscription, how many seats were purchased and used, as well as when the subscription becomes active and when it expires. Moving on to your Teachers tab, our admin dashboard is relatively new. It was launched last year, so some of you may not be familiar with this. When you're managing multiple teachers, we've added this to make it easier for you to give teachers access. And this is one of the few things as an administrator you will need to do at the beginning of every subscription. And that is to give your teachers access by adding them as a teacher on the subscription. This is super simple. From the Teachers tab, you will simply enter their email address and click on Invite. Once you've done that, you'll see that they'll be added to your table. and you'll get a status. As for example, this particular teacher is pending. They'll be receiving an email that will allow them to access the platform, and then they will become an active teacher. Teachers can be added by you as a primary teacher, or they can be added by another teacher to a classroom to be a co-teacher, and they would be labeled as such in the table. Moving to your schools tab, this is not a mandatory action. However, it as an administrator is highly likely to be helpful to you. This is where you will create your schools and get information about those schools in terms of how many registered users are within that school, how many classrooms, and how many students. Again, it's super easy. You just navigate to the top right-hand corner. You'll type in the name of the school the way you'd like to see it appear on the table, and then you'll click Add School. If you ever want to edit your school names, you can simply click on the pencil icon. That will open up the field so that you can make appropriate edits, and then you would save your changes. You also have the ability to remove a school from your classroom table, and you would do that by clicking on the garbage can icon. Moving over to your classrooms table. First and foremost, I want to differentiate for you. Some of you may be the administrator of your school or district's account as a whole, but you may also be using CodeMonkey in the classroom with your students as a teacher. So when you're an administrator, your classrooms tab will include all classrooms that are assigned to this subscription or that roll up to the subscription. Whereas your My Classrooms tab on the left-hand side is only the classrooms that you are the primary teacher for. So know that is the difference between those two areas. Again, as you have created classrooms, you will see that they are listed here on the classrooms table. You get general information about the school, the primary teacher, number of students. You have an option here to archive classrooms that will remove them from your classroom table. And again, you have an option to edit. And when you click into that, you'll notice that you can change the classroom name. You can change the school. In order for this drop-down to be active, you do need to create the schools under the schools tab. And then you can change the primary teacher or the co-teacher for that classroom. And again, the teacher in question must be registered on the teachers tab for them to show up in your drop-down menu. Then you would click save and your changes will be saved to the platform. In addition to the classroom table, if you have a long list of classrooms, we offer you a filter option so that you can filter by teacher, classroom, or school to shorten that list up and be able to view just the classrooms that you are needing to work with. From the Classrooms tab, you are also able to upload classrooms on behalf of your teachers. So teachers definitely have the ability to manually create their own classrooms. However, if you would like to lessen the burden for them, you can do that here. When you click on Upload Classrooms, you will be given short and very explicit instructions on how to build the file. It's super easy with 4 columns, simply naming the classroom, entering the primary teacher's email address, filling in the school, and then if a co-teacher will be involved, then adding their email address as well. Once this is saved in a CSV file format, you can select that file and upload, and that will mass create all of the classrooms in one fell swoop. Now, there is not a way currently to roster students within that same file, but your teachers do have a bulk upload option when they go to add students, so that is available to them. Finally, we have the kebab menu that's to the right of the Upload Classrooms button. If you are in the platform or have been recently, you'll notice we have a couple of new additions. We have had our usage report available for some time. We now offer an activity report, which is a student activity report, and we'll take a look at that in more depth in a moment. You also have your export course progress report, which we'll also take a look at and is also a new report available to you. In addition to these options, you can search by student, or you can access the archived classroom section. I'm going to return to the reports in just a moment, but let's review our assignments tab, which is the last piece of your administrative dashboard. Here, if you would like, you are able to manage assignments for all classrooms on this subscription. Some schools and districts prefer that the teacher manage the assignments. Others prefer that the administrator manage those. Either way, you can do that from one place. You have an option here to assign all courses. Currently, you can see all of the courses are assigned to all of my classrooms. I can also unassign all of the courses from all classrooms. Let's refresh. And then you can see that then all classrooms have no courses assigned. And this is where you'd want everything set if you don't want students working within the platform quite yet. If you're introducing or providing background knowledge to them, this is a way to keep them from working within the platform. You also have the flexibility of differentiating what courses you assign to each classroom. You can simply click on the individual courses that you would like each classroom to have access to. And of course, those can be different. And you can also limit progress. So if you would like students to only be able to work through a certain challenge in a course, you would assign that course, click on the caret, select set progress limit, and then simply enter the number of the challenge that their students can work through. Once they hit this number and they complete that challenge, they will be locked out of the remainder of the course until you either increase this number or come back and return them to free play. So with that, I'm going to come back to our My Classrooms tab, and we will move into the reporting portion of the presentation. And we'll take a look at the reports that are available to you. And then Maya is going to show you the very exciting new features and reports that will be coming shortly. So first and foremost, you have your general usage report. So when you access this report, you will be asked to outline or identify a timeline that you want to see data for. When you click into this field, you simply click on the two dates, the beginning date and the end date for the data that you would like to see. And here's the report that you will get once it's downloaded. And there's a lot of information on this usage report, starting with your students' usage. So you'll get an overview of classrooms, the number of registered users, the number of sessions the users have completed within the time frame that you outlined, the number or average session duration in minutes, and the number of challenges or exercises the students have solved in that time frame. Below that, you get a graphical representation of your active users by month, so you can see when your peak usage is, as well as when it starts tapering off. Moving down, you'll then get teacher usage information, again, the number of registered teachers and the number of sessions that they have engaged in, followed by a little bit more granular data at the classroom level. Here you're given the classroom name, the number of students in that classroom, and then you're given the number of active users in that classroom month over month. And the final column provides you with a total number of challenges solved by the students in that classroom. So this provides you a nice way of being able to identify what classrooms are more active and maybe which classrooms, such as this one, may need a little bit more encouragement or support in getting students engaged with CodeMonkey. Returning to the Kebab menu, we now also have an activity report available. When you click into this, you're really just going to be given one option. This report will be for the entire subscription from the date it was activated through the date that you're running it. And really what we're asking you here is, do you want all activity, even if the classrooms are now archived? So if you would like to see all activity from the day that your subscription started, then you're going to want to include any archived classrooms to make sure that usage is captured. If you just want to see usage for the classrooms that are active, then you would leave that uncheck marked and then select export reports. When you export the report, this is what it will look like, or it will look similar to this. I've wiped a lot of the data from this in terms of personal information for the students, but yours, of course, would be populated. So the report will start by giving you the classroom name, whether it's active or archived. You'll also get the student's first and last name, their login type, how many times they've logged in, as well as their username. We also provide you with the date and time they first logged into their account, as well as a date and time for the last time that they logged into their account. And then we provide you some metrics. And really what we're looking at here is your student engagement. Total time on the site in minutes, the number of times they've been on the site in the past month, which of course, depending on when you introduce coding, you'll have peaks and valleys. A number of sessions in the past month that they have engaged with, and then the total number of solutions submitted by the student during the subscription. And what's great about this report is that it is granular at the student level, so you can really see what engagement you're getting, not only at a classroom level, but really digging down further into the student level. Returning to our kebab menu, we now have the export course progress report. Here you'll be given a drop-down menu. This report is run by course, and it will provide you progress on all students who have completed challenges within that course during the time frame that or for the subscription. In this case, I'm going to go ahead and select sequencing and loops. Again, you need to determine whether you want archived classrooms included in this report or not, and then you would click on export. When your report is done, you'll be able to download it, and it will look something like this. Similar to what we looked at with the activity report, but giving you different data points. So again, you'll have the same information, classroom name, whether that classroom is active or archived, the student's name and username for logging in, and then information on how many challenges the student has completed within this course, the total number of stars that they've earned as they've worked through the course. And here's where we get into really the meat of this report. So I'm going to move over just a little. Your average score column is, again, going to, of course, give you an average for each challenge that the students have completed, give you kind of an aggregate average for the overall course. And as you're looking at this, it's important to remember that a 3 under any challenge is a perfect score. So as you look at average scores for your students, the closer they are to a 3, the better they are grasping the concepts they are being exposed to, because a perfect score is going to be 3. And then you can also see the progress as you scroll to the right. Challenge by challenge, you can see what that student scored as they worked through the course. And you're easily able to see that students that move quickly from one challenge to the next and are scoring that perfect score, they are making progress. This is how you can determine the student is actually progressing and is understanding and comprehending the concepts that they are being taught. You are also given an average for the classroom, and at the end of the report, an average for the entire subscription. I talk with a lot of customers, districts, schools, administrators, and I can say that one thing that I hear very commonly this school year is that CodeMonkey is being used specifically for exposing students to computer science or coding concepts. So this is a report that you can use to show that as well. Because if your students, here's your concept, sequencing, your first 15 challenges in this course are related to sequencing. Here's your loops, and all of the reports will have the concepts listed at the top. So as you put those concepts in conjunction with how the students scored, you can easily show with metrics that your students are being exposed to those concepts and are grasping them successfully. So with that, that concludes the demonstration portion of our event today. So I'm going to hand it back to Maya, who is going to pick up and show us what is coming in the very near future for CodeMonkey.
Wow, Angie, you are so thorough and so organized. You got to give me some tips after the webinar is finished. I want to be you. Amazing. Thank you for covering all of this. And everyone, again, I want to remind you that we know that this is kind of a technical webinar. So first of all, Q&A session will be, we'll have some time for that in the end. You also can always reach out to us through the support email. You will get the address, email address at the end. And this webinar will also be live on our YouTube and our webinar section at the website within a week or so, maybe less. So you can rewatch that whenever you want. So thank you, Angie. And I know that the webinar is supposed to end at 6:15 in 15 minutes. We may go overboard a little bit just to have more time for Q&A. So let's jump right in. So this is a mock-up image of what of the expanded admin dashboard, what it's going to look like. But before I jump into that, I just wanted to say that this admin dashboard is a result of a lot of feedback that we've been getting from administrators, curriculum coordinators, teachers, and it's not the first time that we have built something in accordance of feedback that we received from teachers. For example, in the past, we had a few teachers saying that they needed more assessment tools. So we created the quizzes tab that you can find for in every classroom's dashboard. CodeMonkey Junior, the course, for example, initially had 30 challenges, but we heard from teachers that the kiddos are loving it and they need more courses and more content. So we upgraded it to 60 challenges and then again to 120 challenges. So all of that is a result from feedback that we're getting from you. You literally have the power to affect the product that you're receiving, that you're using daily, that you're purchasing and working with. So why am I saying that? Just that if we see that this new feature is being used and we get feedback on your needs, maybe it doesn't cover all your needs. Maybe you have more specific, particular, granular things that you need from your admin dashboard. Well, if anything is still being unfulfilled, or some small tweaks would better suit your modus operandi. So we will make changes and you will have an imprint on how the product, on what the product looks like. So please, whenever you have feedback, don't be shy, tell us. Okay, back to the admin dashboard. So the new and expanded admin dashboard is not live yet. It will be so within the next week. But we do have some mock-ups that we'll be sharing with you today, and it will be once it is live, you will all be able to dive deeper and explore on your own. But you will have the knowledge that you acquired today. So it's not, you won't be starting from scratch. So, and again, it gets a little bit technical, but we'll answer questions in the end. So the admin dashboard here, our hypothesis was that district admins during the school year want to monitor and track usage and progress of their classrooms. So at key points during the year, and we know that admins are looking to know what is being used and what isn't. Where do we need to invest more time and effort, and where are the success stories? So our goal here is to give the admins sort of an impression or status of both general activity, meaning usage, and progress in courses. For that purpose, the admin dashboard will display data relating to and pulled from the managed subscription, classrooms. The data that it will be displayed here gets updated every 24 hours, which means every day you'll see changes, you'll see movement, and it's displayed from the start of the subscription till the current day. And the charts, which I will show you up close later, can display by weekly or monthly the data, as long as for the term perspective. So the data, sorry, did you want to say something? No, all right. So the data taken from all classrooms is in the subscription, of course, all classrooms in the subscription, of course, is excluding archived classrooms by default. So if you remember, Angie showed you the reports before, you can select whether you want archived classrooms to be included in the report or not. Here, it's automatically excluded. The course, so the courses list displayed should be, it's all CodeMonkey courses, and you can see here that we, again, this is a mock-up. Usually it wouldn't be 0 schools because, as Angie said, the admins are the ones who really can benefit from adding schools to the mix and to the helps divide the classrooms. So so this is an overview of the subscription, the number of schools, the amount of classrooms, how many students there are, and how many teachers. So you can see that from 822 students, 97% are engaged. What does engaged mean? Engaged means that they had over 2 sessions. Why we chose over 2 sessions? Because we assume usually the first session is the first sign up, and then the second session is really activation and getting more hands-on with playing and learning with the platform. Same goes for teachers. Engaged teacher is a teacher that logged in more than once. On the student usage part of the overview, you'll see that there's active students, total on-site minutes, and time spent on site breakdown. So all of those, so I had this, engaged. You can see that wherever there's a tooltip, there'll be an explanation on how we define, what is the bar, how we define this criteria. So even if you forgot, it's always right there at hand. So active students, I think, is pretty straightforward. We just talked about it. Active students is students that have signed in. You can view it as weekly or monthly. Total on-site minutes will be the number of minutes spent by each student. So this would be the average. And time on site breakdown you can see here that it's between 0 to 9 minutes, 10 to 29, 30 to 59, and 60 minutes and above. You'll see the colors change throughout the year. And for example, we know that for a lot of subscriptions, the median time per session for a student would be around 12 minutes. Because class is 45 minutes, there is usually 5 minutes just getting students to concentrate, then about 20 minutes of tutoring, learning the theoretical part, and then the practical part of playing is usually about 15 minutes out of the class. So you would see at the beginning of the year, most of this will be green, and then depending on what the frequency of classes is a daily, weekly, I don't know, whatever you choose. So there's no right way to teach with CodeMonkey. We know that sometimes it's more of a structural lesson, as I described just now, but sometimes it's just free play, and then they let the kids just play and learn independently, and then you would probably see the numbers change accordingly. So I'm only delving into this just to make sure that if you see 0 to 9, just don't be worried. It just means probably one class was done. So time spent, oh yeah, and this will be time spent by active students. So this will only take the data from students that have activated their accounts. Total on-site minutes will be all time spent by all students, and active students would be active students that had at least one session during the week or month. So just to differentiate, active students, at least one session, engaged students, at least 2. Again, weekly, monthly, you can filter it in any way that you want. So the last part would be student progress. And again, I think even the wording here may change a little bit before this is launched. You're really getting a sneak peek preview of something that we haven't launched yet. So here on the student progress, you can see amount of solutions submitted. You can choose, so here is the tooltip says weekly, last 12 weeks. You can click the drop-down menu and select which course you want to view, or view all courses. It presents successful solutions submitted by students in the subscription. And again, linking to what Angie said about the scoring system, it can be between 1 to 3 stars. So any solution between 1 to 3 stars will be presented here. If students attempted a challenge but weren't able to complete it, then it won't appear here. It's not a solution submitted if they didn't complete the challenge. So this, and again, following on what Angie mentioned, this can be a great way to show progress if you ever need to, you need your teachers to present progress to you, or you need to present progress to somebody else, or just want to monitor it. A great way to show progress can be screenshotting this once a month. I know screenshotting is not ideal. We do plan on adding an ability to print or download it at a later stage, but for now, with this initial version, a screenshot can be a way to go, or again, from the Classrooms tab on your admin dashboard, you can generate a usage report or an activity report and get all of that information there. Before we finish, I just want to say, so in 4 days, Hour of Code Week begins. Hour of Code Week is, as you must know, the biggest week for all coding curriculums. we get a lot of activity during that time. We know teachers really love using our courses in the classroom during Hour of Code, and we have specific courses that are designated for Hour of Course for Hour of Code and Hour of Code lesson plans. So even there, we are aware that teachers need resources to be able to teach. So I just wanted to share with you, those are the steps. So the teachers or the students or whoever can choose a course that best suits their classroom or themselves, review the course teacher notes prior to class, and then make sure that everybody has access to computer or laptop, internet, and code away. We have two more really cool things to let you know. So for uniquely, especially for Hour of Code, we now have students and kids have an ability to generate and download a certificate for themselves. So if before a teacher would be the only one with access to download a certificate once a student completed a course, now students and kids can do so themselves. We have a help article on that on our help center, which I, by the way, really recommend. Check out our help center. It's very useful and we keep it up to date. But to summarize, once a student completed a course, the thumbnail of the course will earn the V sign and become clickable. And when they click it, they can download, there's a pop-up window, and by clicking the download certificate button, the certificate will be downloaded. Only note is when a child or student downloads their own certificate, it will not include their teacher's name on it. So as opposed to the certificates generated from the teacher's gradebook. And in 6 days from now, we have another free live webinar with Jonathan Shore, one of our two amazing co-founders that started CodeMonkey. It will be a live webinar and they'll be talking about the history of CodeMonkey, how everything started, and where we are today. It will be on Wednesday, December 7th at 11 a.m. EST. Stay tuned. You'll be getting an invite to this, to sign up to this webinar by email. And Q&A. We are ready to hear from you. Let's see if we have any questions, pending questions. Okay, well, I know it can take a minute or two to think of a question. So we'll wait for a minute, let you guys absorb everything that you learned here today. And if you have any Q&As, please write them in the Q&A box. In the meantime, Angie, do you want to cover that?
Yes, absolutely. So before we wrap up, and while you're thinking of any questions you may have remaining, we always want to make sure that you know we are here. We have a team of folks available to help you. You are invited to always reach out to our support team at support@codemonkey.com, or you can navigate, as Maya mentioned previously, to help.codemonkey.com, where you'll get access to all of our help articles that include GIFs, videos, and step-by-step instructions for just about anything you might be wanting to do within the platform.
Exactly. I see that we have no question yet. Okay, well, we want to thank everybody for taking the time to join us today. Sorry, Angie.
Oh, no, you're okay. Yeah, we do. We want to thank everyone for joining. We definitely want to thank you all for supporting all that you do to support teachers and students throughout the year. And we also want to just leave you with a reminder to write code, catch bananas, and save the world. Have a wonderful day, a wonderful holiday season, and we wish you all the best.